Good morning, children. For today's lesson, I'd like to start with a question. How can you use Scratch to build an interactive game? Just like the maze game, in Scratch, we use blocks to create our interactive game. And in this lesson, we'll be creating the Pong game. So what is a Pong game? In the classic Pong game, there are two paddles controlled by two users. The ball will be bouncing on each other's paddle. Now, in this Pong game that you're going to design, there's only one player, and the ball will keep on bouncing, avoiding touching the red line at the bottom part of your screen. In your Pong game, you will control the paddle to bounce the ball back to other part of the screen. So, in this lesson, we are learning to code an interactive game called Pong game using Scratch. What I'm looking for. I can code sprites to become interactive using blocks in Scratch. In designing the Pong game, there are three algorithms that we have to follow. The first one is you need to add two sprites, a paddle for the user to control and the ball the user will be playing with. After adding the two sprites, you will proceed doing the second algorithm, which is make your paddle sprite interactive. As you can see on the screen, these are the blocks to make the paddle move left and right. We have when right arrow key press, which you can find in the events block, as well as point in direction and move steps block, which you can add from the motion block. After making your paddle interactive, you will proceed putting the blocks that is part of the third algorithm. Now, let's start coding in Scratch. Watch this video to learn how to code the Pong game in Scratch. To start, open Google Chrome and go to scratch.mit.edu. Once you are in the website, click on Sign In and type your username and password. After signing in with your username and password, click on Create. After creating a new file, name your work or your project as Pong Game. For this Pong game, delete the cat sprite. At the bottom part of your screen, you will see the sprite window containing the cat. Click on the Recycle Bin button. The first algorithm states that you need to add two sprites, the ball and the paddle. So click on Choose a Sprite and add or search the ball. You can choose or add your own choice of a ball. In my case, I'll be adding the beach ball. Position the ball at the top of your Windows screen. If the ball is too big, you can adjust the size by changing the value or number in the size box. In this case, I'll be changing it to 65. Next, add the paddle by clicking the same button, Choose a Sprite. Search for the paddle. Click to add a paddle. Now, position the paddle somewhere at the bottom part of your screen. The next step or algorithm is to code the paddle. So for the blocks, you will need from the events block when space key press and change it to right or left arrow. Next, go to motion and add point in direction. Since the orange block is saying left arrow, the point in direction should be pointing to the left. Drag the arrow to point to the left and click outside. This time, add the move 10 steps block. Test your code by pressing the left arrow key. As you can see, the paddle is moving to the left. It's time now to code the right arrow key. What you will do is duplicate the first set of blocks and change left to right arrow. To do this, go to the orange block, right-click with your mouse, and click on Duplicate. Put the new set of block at the bottom part of the screen. Change left arrow to right arrow, as well as in the pointing direction. Drag the arrow to point to the right. Test your code. Press the right arrow key. As you can see, the paddle is now moving left and right. Let's try to put the blocks for the ball to move or bounce around the screen. Click the beach ball sprite. Next, click on Events. This time, I want the ball to start moving when I click the green flag. So add when green flag click. Next, set the starting place of the ball. Go to Motion and add Go to XY block. This block will tell Scratch the starting place of a ball. After adding Go to XY block, add Point in Direction. This will tell Scratch the direction of the ball as it bounces off the screen. Change the degrees to 45 degrees. Next, we need to code the ball to keep on bouncing. Go to Control and add the Forever block. Inside Forever block, we will be checking if the ball is on the edge of our screen. So, go to Motion and add the block called If on Edge, Bounce. If it reaches the edge or touches the edge of our screen, the ball should bounce back. So, for the ball to be able to bounce back, we need to add the motion block called Move 10 Steps. Test your code by clicking the green flag. As you can see, the ball is bouncing whenever it touches the edge of our screen. For our new set of blocks, we need to add the green flag. So go to Events and add when green flag click. After adding the block, go back to Control and use the Forever block. In this way, the ball will keep on checking if it hits the paddle. So, you will need an if-then statement. So go to Control and add if-then block. Inside if-then, we need to put the block for the ball to keep on checking if it hits the paddle. Go to Sensing and add touching mouse pointer. Place it inside if-then. Change mouse pointer to paddle. To continue, go to Motion and add Turn Degrees block. Go to Operators and add Pick Random block. Change the number from 160 to 200. Then, go back to Motion and add Move 10 Steps. Test your code by clicking the green flag. As you observe, when the ball hits the paddle, it bounces back. This time, we're going to add the blocks for the ball to stop bouncing when it hits the bottom part of your screen. But first, you need to add a sprite at the bottom part of the screen. This sprite is created using the Paint Editor window. So move your mouse to choose the sprite button and click on Paint. In the Paint Editor window, create a shape that will be located at the bottom part of your screen. Use the Shape tool and the Fill option to change the color of your shape. Now we have a red line on the bottom part of the screen. If the ball touches this line, it will stop bouncing. Go back by clicking the Code tab. Click on the beach ball sprite. It's time to add the blocks. Click on Control and add If-Then block. Add the sensing block called If Touching Color and place it inside If-Then. Change this color by clicking it and using the Color Picker tool. choose the color on your stage. Once you have the color, click outside. Go back to control and add stop all. Test your code by clicking the green one. As you can see, the ball stopped bouncing when it hits the red line at the bottom part of our screen. This time you can customize your project by adjusting some settings. Go back to the paddle. The number in the move steps block inside your paddle sprite will tell you how fast or slow the paddle will be moving from left to right. The bigger the number, the faster the paddle will move left and right. After adjusting the speed, you can now add the background. Click Choose a Backdrop and add your own background. Now your Pong game is ready to be played. Once you're done with your Pong game, save your work by clicking File, Save Now. Click the Share button to share your work to your teacher.